Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, yeah, brother from GMS Trinidad. I here to do a little video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yashai. But first and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory
to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai,
Hashem Kodash. I double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well, and salutation to the men and brethren that push this word in sincerity and in truth. And the three brothers from GMS Trinidad, Brother Lamar, Brother Kwam, and Brother Howard here. And the topic at the moment is adultery, right? Adultery. What is adultery? Right? Because we have here in the what can say the conventional not Bible dictionary, Esau's dictionary. Let's now give me a second. Esau dictionary, they will tell you that adultery they say a voluntary sexual intercourse between a man, between a married person and a person who is not their spouse, right? But the scriptures are something totally different to say about that. Adultery is not what the church say it is. Right, so we just want to bring us some precept. If anybody has precept, they bring on first one.
If not mentioned, you see, we're going with the churches now. The churches, they basically westernized.
That's
they
right.
do go with the
They ain't going following the traits of the scriptures.
As I said, they westernized. They go on with our Western Hemisphere kind of teaching. But in ancient times, that's why in the Ten Commandments, it says, "Thou shalt not covet
A man's wife,
another man's wife, nor his house, nor his
animal."
They didn't put in that basically that didn't have nothing to do with the woman.
If I could just bring these strong here, right? Hebrew 5,003 inside my sword here, right? It says to commit adultery, and this is from the same Exodus 20 in the law. It says to commit adultery, usually of man, always with wife of another. Right? Of man, always with wife of another.
Always.
Adultery of woman. It also goes back to idolatry. And it says of woman that breaketh wedlock.
And because when David committed adultery, Abigail wasn't Abigail. Bathsheba, she wasn't without husband. She was with husband. Hence the reason they could have called it adultery. But if she didn't have a husband, it would not have been adultery.
Let me just bring up this a bit. This is Judges 8 and verse. Matter of fact, before I go into Judges, right? This is Judges 5 and 30. It says, "Have they not sped? Have they not divided the prey?" And this going back to when they're going to war. This was even who speaking. This was Deborah, the prophetess speaking, and she's speaking after her people, which are the Israelites, who have chosen war against the other nations. It says, "Have they not sped? Have they not divided the prey? To every man a damsel or two? To Sisera a prey of diverse colors, a prey of diverse colors of needlework, or diverse colors of needlework on both sides. Read for the next of them that take the spoil." Right, so a damsel or two, which is what a young female girl, and I used to do what? When you go back into the law, just bear with me 1 second. Deuteronomy 21, I believe it is. Is it 21? And yes, I believe it's verse 10. It says, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahweh thy power hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captives, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Right? So they took the damsels to do what? To be wives. And they would have a certain age when they look up the word damsel. That thou shouldest bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head, and pare her nails, and she shall put on the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month, and after that thou shall go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Sure. And that's showing you also that no pastor was in the midst with that marriage.
Done.
You understand? This is verse 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, right? And I'll basically stop there. If anybody listening to this video and they want to continue read, they could continue reading from Deuteronomy 21 verse 15 all the way down. But it said, if a man have two wives, and this is God law.
That's right. Yeah, it will change. Right, there's
Judges 31 time too?
Yeah.
Something here for you. This is Romans chapter 7, starting at verse 2. It says, for the woman, I'll start at verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law. How that the law had dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which had a husband is bound by the law of her husband so long as he liveth. Now, a woman is bound by the law of her husband as long as her husband liveth. Nowhere in the scriptures is a man bound under the law of his wife. Right?
Scripture saying, is that Genesis? That something shall be to thy husband and he shall remain.
Genesis 3 and 16. Going on. It says, but if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband.
Yeah, so when your husband died, but it said that it explains self-explanatory. Your husband died, you're free to go on the next man will marry you.
Yeah, and that would mean when the next man marry you, go and shell with the next one and the next one, so long as that one, because now he ruling over you.
It says now, so then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress.
She shall be married to another man, which means one has sex with the next man. She shall be called what?
An adulteress.
Right, because she current husband still alive, and she went on to her next man, or her next man went on to her.
And that don't mean if she leaves she husband and go and jump over a broom with a man holding her hand, that means she went and had sex intercourse with that man. That is how the whole scripture say that whole place is defiled.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, Jeremiah 3 and verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, which going back to Deuteronomy 24 and verse 1, and she shall go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? Speaking about the woman as the land. But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, say to Yahweh.
Play the harlot. And what is a harlot? A woman that is, having sexual intercourse with more than one individual, more than one man.
Because with a whole lot and a whole about when they read the book of Ezekiel 16, if it's not Ezekiel 16, it's Ezekiel 23. But the Lord said it had two women that were his. And I'll read it. Because the Lord's problem with the both of them is that they went off and committed adultery, but both of them was his wives. Ezekiel 23 and 1, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredom in their youth. there would they bruise breast press, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. And the names of them were Aholah the elder and Aholabah his sister, and they were mine. And they bare sons and daughters. Thus were their names. Samaria is Aholah, and Jerusalem is Aholabah. And Aholah played the harlot when she was mine. And she
then the northern Saddam. The two witnesses.
And she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians, her neighbors, which, as the brother said, that was in northern kingdom, which were clothed with blue captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. Thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, which were the gods, and with all on whom she doted, with all their idols she defiled herself. Right? And the scripture said, treacherous Judah sought when he put away Israel for committing adultery, struck Judah, which is us, did the same thing. Jeremiah 3 and verse 8. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, meaning what Israel in the northern kingdom was married to who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? He had put her away for committing adultery, but the Lord had an ex-wife, which was Judah. I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So how adultery is me having a wife and I go and brush a virgin? How I committing adultery?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Going on, I start over verse 3. It says, so then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another.
Yep, because what the man did.
Done.
Then our son, and I'm going into the online etymology with adultery because it's an important point. Because what a woman does carry is the seed of a man inside of a womb. Now, when a man and a woman together, that woman is on that oath, as the scripture say, to her husband. Which means, like if, I'll put it also in this way. I is a farmer and I only plant apple seeds on my land. My land supposed to only bear apples. But somebody now come in who is an orange farmer and plant orange seeds. I come and see a strange fruit on top of my crop. Which means what? You altering. Right? Because it goes back, adultery actually goes back to altering. Now man carries certain genes inside of them. Right? And it is called after his name. Right? The seed is called after his name. So when a woman, the scripture say, she ain't be the woman that bringing a seed or an heir by another.
Actually, right.
I think it's the same Ecclesiasticus.
Actually, you're right. Right?
Right. This is Ecclesiasticus 23 and 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. For first she had disobeyed the law of the Most High, as the brother brought out in Romans, against her own husband and wait. For first she had disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she had trespassed or sinned against her own husband, and thirdly she had played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children, because inheritance was something important to a man and his family. And this lot of land belongs to me. I is the one who work hard and think for this land, but now you commit adultery, somebody else win and own my land. When we know the importance of marriage also is with reincarnation. I go and come back and enjoy whatever is mine in my lot.
Hey. And the video the elders and them do earlier on, the elder was doing earlier on, the apostle. And he was basically saying that, hey, you know, the Rothschilds and them, they deal basically with the family line.
Yeah.
That specific line, they're not going outside of the line. You understand?
Yeah, we won't say that. Even if it had to be incest. We don't say that.
You understand?
If you ever go and watch the family tree, it's very near kin. Brother and sister, uncle and niece, and all kind of madness.
I don't know if you ever noticed this, but I work in a lot of white house and I used to work pigs. It always has some kind of cripple inside the house, a cripple young child. Like who can't, because they say sometimes when you incest does cause, you know, so. But I have a precept here, I have a scripture here. This is Matthew 5 and 31. It says, it had been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a bill of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, here it's saying, it's a wife, save for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery.
Yes.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery.
Yes, because basically the reason why he pushed her away is because she committed fornication. You understand? She break the law.
She break the
law as she husband. Right, and make the husband push her away. And whosoever go with she also committed adultery too. You know? Because it has laws, it has things set up because basically, as the scripture say, it wasn't it's the hardness of the people's heart that Moses gave them that law. Because the Most High really not about a man and a woman separating. It says who he put us together, let no man put us under.
Right. Just to back it, this is Malachi chapter 3 and verse 7. Just so. Right. So that 2:16. It says, for Yahweh the power of Israel said that he hated putting away. For one covered violence with his garments, said Yahweh of hosts. Therefore, take heed to your spirit that ye deal not treacherously. Ye have worried Yahweh with your words, yet ye say, wherein have we worried him? When he say, everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of Yahweh, and he delighteth in them, or where is the power of judgment? Right? Matter of fact, I should have started a verse up from 16. It says, and did not he make one? Just know. I'll start a verse up. Select. Bear with me. It says 2:14. Yet he say, wherefore, because Yahweh had been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. So it had a lot of men that dealt treacherously with the wife. Yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant. And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a goodly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For Yahweh the power of Israel said that he hated putting away, for one covered violence with his garments, said Yahweh of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that he deal not treacherously. That is what the Lord came to explain. You understand? Say, hey, don't put away your wife unless we see it's case of fornication. If she already went and committed adultery, because that is what it means by her committing fornication, when it actually go into that precept, it wouldn't be sex before marriage. Alright? It would be that she had already basically slept with somebody else.
Right, and fornication, when you go into the word fornication in that passage there, Matthew 5 and 32. Yeah, I was done it already. It says porneia, illicit sexual intercourse. It says adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc. Right? Bestiality, yeah. Sexual intercourse with divorced man or woman.
And let's touch on what they say about sex before marriage. You know how a woman could actually sin by having sex before marriage?
Is if she was promised?
If she was promised and someone and somebody else, and it boils right back to this very same thing. You understand? Because she will be married if somebody even take it by force.
Yeah.
Which goes back to law in Deuteronomy 22. Right? So I have here also in this Donovan Bible Dictionary.
Okay.
Right? They say adultery. Voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and someone other than his or her spouse. Right? That is they put there, but they say in the Old Testament the Hebrew word na'ap is applied usually to such an act between a man, married or unmarried, so whether the man married or he unmarried, and the wife of another. So if he married, matter of fact, let me put it this way: if he unmarried and he go and has sex with a man's wife, he commit adultery.
That's right.
If he's married and he go and have sex with an next man's wife, he commit adultery.
Simple.
That is it. And when it had
No maths in that.
it had something I was looking up on Google, right? Some researchers during that time, and they say adultery would have been hard for a man to do. Adultery was mainly concerning women because of polygamy. Men could have more than one wife. So how a man committed adultery when Israel was a polygamy nation? Meaning
multiple
wives. As women, they would have more chastised for adultery. You know, a young man, he ain't have no wife yet, but she, you know, being a married woman, wherever they keep watching the young man, wherever the case is, and he go and brush it, both of them shall be put to death according to the scripture. A man, though, just like in David's case, already had his wives and concubines, because David had wives and concubines, and still met Bathsheba, as the brother was explained before. But Bathsheba was married already, and going and have sex with that woman.
So he
committed adultery. How come the scripture didn't say he committed adultery when it is that he had wives, because he was already married to Saul's daughter, and he had other wives too, because he had two wives at the point in time before he came king of all Israel, right? And Nabal's wife died, and he took Abigail to be his wife.
The wife, Saul's daughter, who was promised him. Right.
She
was
committed adultery.
She and the man committed adultery because it was betrothed to him.
Saul and all
he worked for that.
He worked for that. You understand?
That he want Jonathan co-son and send him back to the city.
Yeah, that is why.
Crying.
That is why when I think it's when Saul died, he went back for his wife. Because they rightfully his. It was rightfully his. Also, although,
yeah, the story, we have to go back into the story to, you know, the narrative.
I'm going to bring Proverbs 6 and 29. Proverbs 6 and 29 says, so he... Yeah, 29. Proverbs 6 and 29, so like, yeah. It says, so he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her, shall not be innocent. Man do not despise a thief. Without going to it, right? To the point. It says, man does not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he is found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all his substance of his house. But whosoever committed adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyed his own soul. Right? Because you covet, they call it covet. You know, you see somebody thing and you want it. Right?
So thou shalt cover thy neighbor's house for thy neighbor's wife, or anything that pertains unto thy neighbors.
it says, and would not dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall be not wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare any day of vengeance.
The scripture never say, for the woman, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's husband. You understand? Them lawful to do that. Them could be home watching you on your daily and commenting, I want to be with this man. That is lawful for them.
9 and 10. This is the Ecclesiasticus 9 and verse 10. It says, bam bam, 10 and 9. 9 and 9, so like here, it says, sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms. Right? It says, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her. Right? Lest thine heart incline unto her. Right?
Remember, you're taking in alcohol, you're consuming alcohol. Right? And she consuming alcohol also.
Look up that word incline.
You know, and some of these women can't even drink. So before you know it, you're in problems.
Yeah, we say you're inclining. It says to be favorable, disposed towards, or willing to do something. You understand? So I will read it over. Ecclesiasticus 9 and 9, it says, sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline, which means willing to do something.
And that something,
and that something is obviously to commit our adultery.
Because that's what winers do, you know?
Yeah.
And women might be able to consume the kind of wine a man might be able to consume.
Yeah, woman can drink.
You understand? And as she will start to be floating.
Why you think Judith didn't play that with Olophinas? Judith probably has tricked me by anybody here watching. Judith wasn't playing that with Olophinas.
Yeah. That is wisdom.
Exactly.
Right, so we learn how they say inclined to, willing to do something. In that scripture, they willing to do something, and they basically were to commit adultery, plain as day.
Yeah, because it will be enticing. So you have to keep yourself away from that. So the scripture say, flee from sin like our serpent, like one flee from a serpent.
Flee from sin. See from sin as one flee from a serpent. It says, and so through thy desire thou shalt fall into destruction, and the destruction be death. Because that is 9 and 9 to 10.
Oh, nobody bring out the 23:17 yet.
You didn't bring it all that, not it?
Nah, I read down.
Something here, there's Matthew. There's Matthew. Matthew chapter 5.
Time flying like
I'll start at verse.
half an hour.
I'll start at verse 31. It's Matthew 5 and 31. It says, it had been said.
I don't read that.
You don't read that? So it had been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a written, let him give her a writing of divorcement. Now, the reason why they put it like this is because a man could actually divorce a woman. Yeah, you wouldn't see a woman, the scripture ain't going to see no way in the law say, or no way in the prophets stating that a woman, if she fed up with her husband, she could write him a bill of divorce and let him go away.
Right.
Just to back you up, when I did a long class on that in ancient history, it was impossible for a woman to divorce. The only how the woman started to do that is when they ended up in the Babylonian captivity and they started to pick up the customs
of
of the people.
Like,
because remember, I could for this it was in the book of Esther, when the woman Vashti, right? If when Vashti opened her mouth against the king, basically she wasn't looking for no punishment. Right? She wasn't looking for no punishment. She wasn't thinking that, it was been nothing to discriminate, credit she in any way. Right? But the Most High opened up with that unto the king's men that, hey, you had to put on your foot.
For these women keep
Before
come out of order and
you understand?
when I summon you play the walk, come to make them proud.
Can.
That way you saw doing the nations right
That is what you saw doing the nations. You're correct.
And them women proud.
right.
If
Yeah. But he says, but I say unto you, that whosoever put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her, that is divorced, committed adultery.
They say fornication, eh? I went into that, eh?
Can. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Any kind of illicit act.
Mm-hmm.
Other than anything other than that. Anything other than that, they will make your wife commit adultery, that would say. Anything other than fornication and making your wife commit adultery if you push her away. Because she will want to go on to her next man.
And next man will be committed adultery.
And the next man will be committing adultery. Why? Because you in there yet.
So the best thing to really do is when a man and a woman come together, let them stay together.
Yeah, leave them alone. Adultery in online etymology, voluntary violation of the marriage bed. From 1300, adultery, from Old French adultère, latter adultère, modern French adultère, long of condition from adultère, from Latin adultere, commit adultery, corrupt from ad, to see ad, which is plus alteria, to alter. And when you're altering something,
You tamper with it.
it can changing it. So
Yeah.
when a man accustomed telling a woman grown to plant his seed, they say he seed Israel. You understand? But now a Edomite will come now, lie down with the man wife, and bring you what a Edomite seed. So that child it have no such thing as blasted mixed nation. Avocado, not because it's from Trinidad and you go blasted Africa in it, don't mean what it going and change to what? To orange tree, or it going to mix now from avocado to a blasted avocado sauce up. It don't mix. The man is will carry the genetics, the man carry the sequences, as they say, come from the Greek pattern, the man carry the pattern. To pattern that child, the spirit, everything, you get the characteristics from what the father, the mother is who feeding the child.
That's right.
You want to mix up thing with.
That no mixing. And they can't mix it. The honest people who trying to do that right about now splicing, by splicing genes, and they have to get the genes now, because even seed carry genes. They have to splice the genes to make a frog crocodile. He's so with the wicked self. Anything else?
That is it. Nah, that is it.
Hey, and you want to know a little more about marriages? I mean, the scriptures have it, but the scripture is also a history book. Look up marriages in ancient Mesopotamia. Didn't teach you marriage in different culture, right? It's only since we come in this Western Hemisphere they talking about ring and finger and pass that same power invested in me, right? But there is no fixed way to really say how marriage is. But in ancient Israel, we have the betrothal, which is the promise between the fathers or father and the in-law, whatever the case is, or the family come together. Hey, this one come together with this one. The fathers or whoever, they will agree, because really actually it's the parents' duty to arrange the marriage, the wedding and everything, and then the two will come together. When they read Deuteronomy 22 and Tobit, they will come together in the bedchambers, which normally will be the father of the, most likely the father, the daughter, area there, you know, inside the bed chamber, the mother will go and she will counsel she daughter, right? But what to do, whatever the case is, then she'll come out, talk to her husband, hey, well, we daughter already, whatever the case is. The father will go now to his in-law, which is son-in-law, who's supposed to marry his daughter, and then they will go in, they will have intercourse. Well, if you read the book of Tobit, they say a prayer together, however, they'll have intercourse on a white sheet. She being a virgin, blood will appear on the sheet. After they don't do what they do, they come out, the mother go inside and fold up the sheet and bring it out to the elders or whoever in the village, because most are witnesses, hey, don't touch this woman. This is this man's wife.
And if I can say this too, adultery is a kind of nasty thing, you know?
Yeah, effed up.
To go on to you having sexual intercourse with the next man's wife. Is that, you know, you think about it?
Yeah, because remember a man pushing you all day.
And you know what he doing?
It's kind of
Like
parry thing they do.
the system pushing, he saw pushing that vibration like, hey, every song, and I can treat you better than he can.
That is why these modern day women now, they love to say there's a bad bitch, that's the nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna know that this man putting you out and they're gonna take rods.
You singing,
Just as she open her quiver to every arrow.
you singing a song for a next man woman.
Yeah, if your man nap, you good.
It has so much a woman out here, but you want to sing a song for a man fucking woman.
Yeah. Don't go look for one on your own. He had one there.
Yeah, one day
yeah.
we will take you. I'm gonna sing a song for she.
Because you know that is the thing, because as Brother Makazada said, it's easy fucking bait. But the thing is, adultery is supposed to be something impossible. The reason why it have 5 billion women to 2 billion men.
That is exactly my point that I'm gonna make. It has too much, it has more woman than man.
And tobacco you're saying,
Can't go ahead.
tobacco you're saying, Job 31 verse 7, if my step had turned out of the way, and my heart walked after mine eyes, and if any blood had cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let another eat, yea, let my offspring be rooted out. If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her. For this, talking about adultery, for this is an heinous crime. Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges, for it is a fire that consumeth to destruction, and will root out all mine increase. Showing how wicked adultery is.
Wicked adultery, yeah. That should make it become poor, nothing.
Alright, both man and a woman in adulterous, like both of them will be put to death.
Yeah.
You know, because they form a union in their wickedness.
Fine. This is Ecclesiasticus 22 and verse 17. All bread is sweeter and whoremonger. He will not leave off till he die. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness, the walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. Such a man only fear the eyes of men, and know not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. You understand? So the Most High have a mark on you here, as Job says, it's set a arrogance here for punishment.
And the thing is, when a man commit adultery to a woman, most times it's just a play he's looking for, you know.
Yeah, he don't care about that woman.
He don't really care about the woman, you know. He just looking to just wet his face and move along. And the wickedness at this place.
That's what that woman doing.
But anyhow, hope that was edifying. You know, to the hope for the elect. And the sisters who listening in silence. With that we want to say all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash. I want to say double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone that surely rule well. And salutation to the brothers that's pushing this work in the four corners of the earth. This is Pastor James Trinidad saying, Shalom.